For those who have witnessed a wedding objection during the "Speak Now or Forever Hold Your Peace" portion, what happened? Lachie says, at my cousin's wedding when the exchanging of vows took place, my aunt shouted, "Wasn't there supposed to be a part where you could object?" or something along those lines. Mr_E_Fister says, a member of my wife's family had a pirate-themed wedding. A rival pirate appeared and objected to the wedding. The groom dueled him with rapiers and won. Naked_none_run says, the groom himself. He just stood up there and started crying and, in front of everyone, told the bride that he'd fallen out of love with her a while before but he didn't know how to break it off. It was extremely uncomfortable. They both stepped out, and 10 minutes later came back out and got married, because she'd apparently told him she was pregnant. They're still together, with 3 kids, and I'm not sure about the husband but I can confirm that the wife is having an affair. Neither of them are happy, but she has a comfortable life and he doesn't have the spine to leave. Hemorrhoideretic says, nobody had said, "Speak now," but the groom's ex still decided to get up and scream that he was her soulmate, that she forgave him for this whole thing, and that they should leave now because he'd proven his point. By breaking up with her, 5 years earlier, falling in love, and holding a wedding, I ate so much cake and got so drunk at that wedding. Meanwhile everyone else was screaming and throwing shit. Good times. The bride was my boyfriend's ex. No idea why they invited us. Park Street 2 North says, one of my friends interrupted his cousin's wedding to come out of the closet. He couldn't understand why people were so pissed at him. R. Burke 319 says, this happened very recently, but in a different manner than the other comments I'm seeing. For years, groom and best man are super close, room together, and the running joke is that they're more than friends. Later on, groom meets bride, falls in love, and proposes. New running joke is that best man is very disappointed that groom is marrying someone else. At the wedding, officiant asks if anyone has objections. Best man objects. Officiant quickly overrules the objection. It was planned, and bride thought it was a funny way to acknowledge the super close friendship between groom and best man. Did not result in anyone being kicked out or awkwardness. Fun and surprisingly appropriate, Ishavit says, I was at an outdoor ceremony once, with a storm coming in. The pastor was trying to move things along so that we wouldn't get caught in the rain. The reception was indoors. He asked if anyone knows of any objection, and instantly, there was a loud clap of thunder. To his credit, the pastor just paused a moment and then said, anyone else? All right, in that case, and finished the ceremony. Pterodactyl 819 says, only once, but it was non-romantic. The father of the bride had been pretty absentee after her parents' divorce. He had remarried and gotten into the Christian Science religion and they were both pretty terrible. The new wife was not invited to my friend's wedding but the father came and it seemed like he was there to be supportive. He stood up during vows and proclaimed my friend was a bitch just like her mother and the groom should get out while he can because my friend was a soul-leeching succubusnut. The worst wedding I ever went to. Saffroner says, went to a coworker's wedding and the maid of honor objected and admitted to being the other woman and that the groom had been cheating with her for months. The bride left in tears and the groom immediately tried to get with the mo, but she told him she wasn't gonna hurt the bride further and that he needs to fuck off. The bride is doing much better and is now a manager here, and I haven't heard from the groom in over a year. The mo and bride are on speaking terms, but I don't think their relationship is gonna ever be what it used to be. Kill0y13 says, I saw it nearly happen at my uncle's wedding. A friend of theirs got too drunk, and when Say said speak now he smiled, started to stand up. My mother grabbed him by his hair and sat him back down by force. Name deleted says, when I was 13 we went to my second cousin's wedding. Everything is going great. They even got past the speak now or forever hold your peace part. They wrote their own vows but before my second cousin's fiancé, wife could even begin her vows his son got up announced to the entire room that she was cheating on his dad with her drug dealer and he couldn't let his dad marry her. My second cousin yelled at his son to either sit down or leave. The son left, my second cousin married her anyways, and 5 years and 1 baby later he finds out it was true and they separated but were too tweaked out to be able to afford a divorce. Finally he got married a 3rd time but before he could get married his 3rd now ex-wife had to pay for their divorce. This wedding had no objections. They moved to Missouri, and this time instead of separating or asking for a divorce, he decided he didn't want to be married anymore and just moved back to Cali to get back together with his second ex-wife. Yep, family dinners are a little awkward. One lame question says, my friend almost paid me to do it at my dad's marriage and I was so close to agreeing, but my dad overheard and stopped me. I would have done it for free if I knew how fucking crazy that stupid woman was back then. Sylvester 49 says, it was at my wedding that we had at my grandmother's house, who lives out in the country next to a cattle farm. The cows didn't make a peep till that moment and one finally went moo. We all laughed and continued, but it was a funny moment about my wedding. Stevo_James says, a wedding first was at, one guy got up and pledged his undying love for the bride, followed by 4 or 5 others objecting for various reasons, including one guy's love for the groom. By the second or third objection, though, it was clear that the whole thing was a clever ruse. I found out later that it was all set up by the bride as a prank on the unsuspecting groom and family and friends. It was pretty hilarious. Chad's PDX says, the best man at my stepsister's wedding did this. It happened at the rehearsal the night before. It was a very large wedding and the rehearsal was bigger than a lot of weddings. The minister was going over the vows quickly while giving instruction on what to do. When he said something about objections, the best man interrupted, saying he had to put a stop to this. He was in love with the bride and was sure she felt the same way. My sister and everyone else was horrified. It caused plenty of chaos and confusion. As far as I know, after that neither the bride nor groom ever spoke to him again. JJet89 says, my wife drugged me to a wedding that I did not want to be at years ago, but I'm forever grateful that she did, because I was able to witness one of the greatest spectacles of human drama that has ever taken place. This was like an episode of Jerry Springer mixed with Cops. Bride's lover spoke up at that moment and yelled, I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and let you steal my woman, you sorry piece of shit. This deranged old redneck proceeds to come at the groom with a pistol, threatening to shoot him if he doesn't give her up. It wasn't a huge wedding, maybe 40 or so people, but every single one of them went screaming and running, and maybe 2 people stayed and called the cops. I grabbed my wife's hand and we retreated outside to watch the rest of the scene unfold from the church window. Chicken Biscuit 26 says, groom's dad interrupted the wedding to ask the bride's father whether or not she was truly a virgin. Then he went on about how he didn't know anything of the wedding and blah blah blah. Truly weird and embarrassing. I was there with an ex-boyfriend. Symbiotic_relation says, mom got married to my stepdad, uncle objected. After the attention was focused on him, he just asked if they were still going fishing afterwards. To which my stepdad reached into his suit and pulled out his fishing hat, very sweet and romantic. They loved to fish together. Rip though, remind me to upload the video. Wish I could find a cheap way to digitize the VHS to upload it online. Got any more of them says, my aunt was getting married to her second husband, and during the speak now or forever hold your peace bit, their baby started crying. The dude officiating it said, if anyone older than 6 months has any objections, speak now or forever hold your peace. He got a laugh and the wedding carried on. They're still together 10 years later, so I guess whatever my cousin had to say was misinformed.